Trios was hoping to find somewhere to
I was still not manufactured in my dad's ball sack. That's a weird thing to say, right? That's an odd thing.
rebuild the park. Eventually,
Sorry.
Campo started putting their demolition plans in place, adamantly saying the park had to close in October of 1984. However, park officials argued that they still needed more time. They insisted that if the park closed at the set date, they wouldn't have enough time to find a new location and rebuild a new park for the 1985 season. As such, they would be closed for all of 1985. This meant
Okay, 1985, I was maybe swimming around in there. You ever think about that? Like, you beat out millions of other competitors, sperm, whatever, and here's who you are. You must have been so stupid.
that 138 permanent workers would be laid off and over 700 seasonal jobs would be lost. It would also mean moving their animals long distance to temporary locations, then moving them all the way back in 1986. They argued that this would be stressful for the animals and detrimental to the health of more fragile species like porpoises. Some even said that if they closed in 1984, they may never reopen. A public campaign was then started to pressure Campo to give Marine World more time. Though some argued that the park had ample time to prepare, others contacted Campo Corp to voice their concerns. Public protests were also held, with residents crafting picket signs and collecting petition signatures. Even Redwood City Council voted to convince Campo to delay the closure, with only one member dissenting. Ultimately, though, Campo had the power to make the final decision. As this was going on, park officials were scrambling to collect enough financing to fully fund the move, with a self-imposed deadline of September 15th. By the end of September, the park was on the verge of closing, and only Campo Corp could control what happened next. On September 18th, Mike Demetrios held a meeting with his employees, and thankfully, he had some good news for once. He had officially chosen the city of Vallejo as the park's new location. Though they had been leaning towards Mountain View, Vallejo gave them by far the best offer. What Vallejo officials did was underwrite an estimated $30 million in a tax-exempt assessment district bonding program with public and private financing. Moreover, although attendance wasn't set to be as high as the other locations, the extremely low cost of construction would offset that.
It's wild to me. I'm sorry, that is wild to me. They already had something, and I get it, like whatever, like the location is everything. I know that. I lived in downtown Fort Worth. I paid in a lot of money to live there. So, like, fair enough, fair enough. I get,
City officials in Vallejo were ecstatic, with Mayor Terry Curtola proudly holding up a newspaper headline announcing the move. He later celebrated this by getting to first base with one of the park's orcas. Even better news.
The fuck did I just hear? What the did I just hear? He celebrated. What is first base? Is that boob? Is that boob touching? Look. Now we're gonna find out this together. I don't know. I'm gonna get banned. I'm gonna get banned from this. First base is kissing and making up. Second base is touching above the waist. Third base is stimulating anywhere below the waist. Fourth base is for home base is having sex. Know that? I don't know if I knew that. Well, now we all know. Now we all know. First base, he got there by Kissing and making out with the dolphin.
Came
What the
just
fuck?
weeks later when the Campo Corporation gave in to public pressure and allowed Marine World to operate in Redwood City for one more year. This not only gave park officials enough time for a neat and organized moving process, but it allowed for the construction of a new park in Vallejo. When all
I
was
didn't
said and
even
done,
know that. I
1985
knew
would
like
be
what
Marine World's
second,
last
third
year in
base
Redwood
was first
City.
base, didn't it?
By the end of the
That's
season, the
so
park wanted to go out of
vaporwavy.
Redwood City with a
I
bang.
love it.
To promote the new
So
Vallejo
vaporwavy,
location,
man.
officials came up with a promotional event that you could say was biblical in nature. Taking
Oh,
cues from Noah
okay.
himself,
Fair
the
enough.
park turned a 130-foot long barge into an ark for its animals. Though most of the animals were transported by truck,
Don't make me go on that tangent. Don't do it. Don't make me go on that tangent. I'm like a very staunch atheist, naturalist kind of person. Don't make me go there. Please. Okay.
several camels, ponies, llamas, goats, and birds were put on the boat. Additionally, the boat was decorated in jungle theming, with the park's entrance sign proudly displayed towards the bow. According to the Santa Cruz Sentinel, the barge left Redwood City at 7:20 a.m. before arriving ahead of schedule in Vallejo at 4 p.m. The Ark made its voyage on October 13th, 1985, but it would still be a few months before the new park opened. As for the old Redwood City location, it later became the site of Oracle's headquarters, and is now used as field offices. Nowadays, the only remnants are two streets named Twin Dolphin Drive and Marine Parkway.
Okay. I'm sorry. I have to show this. I'm sorry. It's I show kids. I don't even care. I mean, it's a true thing, so we're gonna watch it. I haven't seen it, but it's going to give you the least amount of information that you need to know that is correct to know why flamingos are pink. It's not because God wanted them to be there. Sorry, it's just not.
Wow. Isn't that awesome? Oh, hi there. Squeaks and I were just doing a little bird watching. It's so much.
I actually haven't seen this before. I assume it's good. Hank Green, John Green know what they're doing. If I can find a better avenue of approach, then I will.
Fun to try to spot different birds. Today, we saw a cardinal, a goldfinch, and a blue jay. Good observation, Squeaks. Squeaks noticed that all of the birds we saw today were different colors. The cardinal was red, the goldfinch.
I think this is good. I don't think 2-year-olds are going to be up at 4:17 in the morning watching a astrophysicist that loves astronomy. So we're gonna watch a more in-depth kind of thing.
Hi, it's Doug. It's not every day you see an animal that's pink. But recently, when I was visiting the tide pools in California along the ocean, I spotted this tiny little animal. Up close, it looks like a pink shaggy dog or maybe an alien. Turns out it's a type of sea slug that lives along the Pacific coast. Someone named Yuxagani has a question about a slightly more famous pink animal, though. Let's give Yuxagani a call now.
I get it. I get it. They want. Oh my god.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Yuxagani.
I have a question for you. Why are flamingos pink?
That's a great question.
They eat very salty
Birds
brine.
come in so many different colors. But it's not every day you see a bird that's pink.
Why are flamingos pink?
Because they eat salty
I find
brine
it's always
shrimp.
interesting to find out why something is the color it is. We've explored
Did
other
I
color
help
questions
out?
before for lots of different things. Like, why is the sky blue?
Raleigh
is Mars
scattering.
red?
The sky is blue by Raleigh scattering, and Mars is red by the opposite because the thin atmosphere reflects the red. But if the sunset on Mars, like if imagine if you were a Martian, you could live on Mars and you saw the sunset, it would be blue because it is going through the same like type of atmosphere as the Earth, but the atmosphere is so much thinner. So like the sunset, the rays of light come through it, and it scatters the blue light from the Raleigh scattering. Please help me like justify my fucking science degree. Yeah, so uh the days on Mars are red because of the sun coming in and bouncing off and scattering from the rusted soil. But whenever we see the sunset, it is actually blue on Mars. For the same reason it's blue on Earth in daytime, because the blue on Mars sunsets, the light rays come in and they scatter like they do in a fairly, shall we say, like viscous or thick atmosphere on Earth. And then why are sunsets red on Earth and they're not on Mars? Well, sunsets are red on Earth because the red light is scattered, or the blue light is scattered more than the red, and the red come through. It's not the same red that it is on Mars, because Mars, that's a reflection kind of thing. The blue light is completely scattered on the sunsets of Earth. So, and I teach that in my astronomy class. So.
Why are pumpkins orange? And if you've seen those episodes, then you know that there are sometimes different reasons why things can be the color they are.
Sure.
But in general, a lot of things around us are the color they are because on a microscopic level, when we look at them close up under a microscope, we find out that they contain tiny amounts of substances made of that color. We call these color substances pigments. Maybe you've heard that term before.
Metaphors, whatever.
Leaves are a great example of this. When microscopes were first invented, we were able to find out that the reason leaves are green is because they're filled with these tiny microscopic blobs of a green substance, a green pigment.
By the way, if there's no like magical whatever happening to humans, because we can see green the best, and imagine what our sun puts out the most. Oh my god, it's green. Actually, it's a true story. That's why we can do that. I show a 454 nanometer laser, and everyone can see it because they're green. And if our sun wasn't green, if our eyes didn't develop acutely to the, or excuse me, not 454, 525, I think, actually. We sorry, green laser nanometers. It's is it 532? Okay, it's fairly close. Green. Anyway, our eyes can pick that up. If we evolved under a blue star, our eyesight would be more in the blue spectrum. If we evolved under a red star, we would be more under the red spectrum and we couldn't see blue. if we evolved under the blue spectrum, we couldn't see red. That's kind of just how it works. Like, science works.
And it's a similar reason why most animals have the colors they have, like
Yeah.
this black cat and this black Labrador retriever. When scientists look at their fur under a microscope, they find it contains a black-colored pigment called melanin. This black-colored
Nobody
pigment
cares.
in their
Everybody's
fur
like
is
noped
just
out
something
right
these
now.
animals were born with. Their whole lives, these animals' bodies naturally make melanin and store it in their fur, which is why they're colored black. So you might expect then that the reason flamingos are pink is because their bodies naturally make some kind of pink-colored substance, some kind of pink pigment. Based on why other animals have the colors they have, that would make sense. But have a look at this baby flamingo.
Yeah.
It's cute, but notice it's not
It's
pink.
white.
And check out even
Oh
these
my
adult...
god. Oh my god. Evan Glare, what the fuck did he say? Oh, they haven't been feeding on the shit that they need to feed on. We all love the pink flamingos, don't get me wrong. But oh, keratin turns your skin orange. Eat a bunch of carrots. I could do it right now. I could go on a diet of carrot for the next year. Come back in a year. My skin will be orange. It actually will be. I'm not like jaundiced or whatever. Like if I ate carrots every fucking day of the year, I would be orange.
flamingos.
Kind of
Wait,
the same
why
shit.
are they kind of white? Are these some rare white kind of flamingo?
No.
They're not. In fact, all flamingos look kind of light gray or white each time they molt or grow new feathers to start to replace their old feathers. The new feathers always grow in grayish white. What?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
God. Oh
Why
my
is it that in
God.
so many photos and videos you see, even in flamingos you might have seen yourself, like at the zoo, they look pink? Do flamingos somehow change color? What do you think?
Man,
Now would be a good time to...
I get it. I get it. He's proposing a question, but you know what I want to know? Why their beaks are shaped down. I don't give a fuck about the pink color. Fuck that. Why are their beaks shaped down? You know? Fair enough.
pause the
I
video
think-
and discuss.
Hold
Okay,
on.
you ready?
I'm putting up a
Well, our mystery can be solved by noticing something
net, as
zookeepers
it
would have
were.
noticed when they first started keeping flamingos in zoos. You see, they had to decide what to feed the flamingos. With other water birds, zookeepers knew it always worked to feed them specially made pellets, kind of like bird chow. And flamingos seem to do okay on that too. But this isn't what flamingos...
Oh, dude, they went to the brine. There's a bunch of lakes in Africa that have brine in it. Brine is a specifically like salty substance. You wouldn't want to drink brine water, but there's pink, like there's pink. What do you want to? Fauna, if you will, like prokaryotes, eukaryotes, whatever. They eat that. That's why they're pink, man. Like, come on.
eat in the wild.
Come on, man.
And zookeepers soon discovered that flamingos fed these pellets. Well, once they started growing new feathers, their feathers came in white and
Yeah.
stayed white. As in, they lost most of their pink color.
Oh, they didn't lose it. That's what they always. Okay.
And there didn't seem to be any hope of them getting it back. Until someone had the idea, wait, could it be there's something that wild flamingos are eating
which isn't in these pellets we're feeding the flamingos at the zoo?
Right.
There was only one way to find out, and that was to observe flamingos in the wild and find out exactly what they're eating. Then feed this same wild food to the white flamingos at the zoo and see what happens. It turns out flamingos in the wild, they eat lots of algae. That's small plant-like organisms that float in the water, as well as tiny shrimp that look like this.
It's shrimp.
Both the algae and the shrimp that wild flamingos eat
what
contain
did
a kind of
Evan Blair
orangish
tell you?
pink-colored pigment.
I'm pretty
You can actually
fucking
see this
dope
color
at
really
science.
easily in the shrimp. The pink color in the algae that flamingos eat isn't always easy to see, but there are some types of algae that are much more obviously pink.
Bro,
Like the algae that lives in this lake in Australia named Lake Hillier.
which is incredibly brine-like, which means that it has a lot of salt in it.
But known around the world as Australia's Pink Lake. Or, if you ever fly in and out of San Francisco, California, you can notice this algae growing in some of the ponds along the edge of San Francisco Bay. Sure enough, by feeding things like algae and shrimp to flamingos in the zoo, they get their pink color back, and they keep it. So, in a funny way, flamingos
Here
are
it
like a
comes.
real-life example of
Here
the
it
expression,
comes. We're
"You
about to
are
get
what you
the
eat."
storms.
They get their pink color from the pink pigments in the foods that they eat.
Oh my god! It's like Evan Blair already told you what you already fucking know. The flamingos are pink because they eat pink food. I know my shit, man. I went to school for fucking 10 years. Come on. Let's go.
June 16th, 1986,
Sorry.
the all-new
Sorry.
World Africa USA
Sorry.
would make its grand debut. Parkgoers were met with a new picturesque location on Lake Chabot. Built on a
Come on,
former
man.
golf course, this new park was 3 times as big as the Redwood City location. While some attractions like the water slides weren't carried over, most of the animals and the water sports shows
We're about to get
were
hit with
included.
a shit.
Still, though, while the new
fucking load
location
of
was beautiful,
storms.
the move wasn't exactly perfect. According
Man,
to the
I've
Napa
been
Valley
here
Register,
since, like,
while the new park was
11,
originally
10 p.m.
estimated to cost $36 million to build, unexpected construction costs
We're
ballooned
going
to
on
$50
5
million.
hours.
On top of that, the parking lot went $500,000 over budget due to a storm in February. Despite these setbacks, the new park was seen as a
whatever.
success, and officials plan to add more attractions in the coming years. Shortly before the end of the year, though, the park was involved in yet another incident, though
Why
this
would it
time it
not be?
actually happened outside of the park. On November 14th, 1986, one of the park's
fair
tigers
enough,
named
fair
Rakan
enough.
was filling in the role as the mascot for San
Fair
Mateo
enough,
High School
alright.
at a pep rally.
Let's go.
Once the 1,400 students in attendance got loud, the tiger jumped off the stage and bit
Oh
the
my
school
God.
football team's defense.
Oh my god, 1,400 students got loud and the tiger got like fucking scared? And it bit people? Oh my god, who would have thought? Come on, man. Dude. And then people are going to be like, oh my god, the tiger fucking went wild. Of course he did. What the fuck do you think we're dealing with? Come on, man.
Defensive lineman Craig Henderson. Footage of this incident does exist, but it is copyrighted by a local news station, so I'll link it in the
Dude,
description.
Oh,
Henderson needed
yeah. Oh, he will link it in the description. Does he actually? Tiger warning, upsetting. I'm gonna play it. If I get banned for 3 days, fuck it, man. No, I want to watch it.
The mascot for San Mateo High School at a pep rally. Once the 1,400 students in attendance got loud, the tiger jumped off the stage and bit the school football team's defensive lineman Craig Henderson. Footage of this incident does exist, but it is copyrighted by a local news station, so I'll link it in the description. Henderson
This is
needed
the-
78
This is the link. He didn't fucking link it. I clicked on it. Tiger attack warning upsetting. Go to site. Oh shit. Okay. If you want to like note me out for watching nature, fair enough. Like, if you want to... I didn't even see anything. I've seen far worse, man. I didn't... Good, I hope that... Sorry, Tiger was hungry. If you wanna process this from like a human perspective, fair enough, but I think it's fucked up. The tiger was hungry. You wanna tame a wild animal, then you're kind of fucked up. I'm sorry. You are. What the fuck did you expect? Tiger was hungry, saw a meal. It sucked, yes. Was it anything not on the natural order? No. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Like, no. Do I hear thunder? I may have to get off here in a minute. Okay. Well, we watched it, and it, like, to be completely honest, really wasn't anything. We didn't really see anything. No, it's fair enough, but
78 stitches, but was thankfully able to return to class later that day. To his credit, he didn't blame the tiger, saying, quote, "It wasn't his fault. He just got excited."
he wanted
Fortunately,
food.
the tiger was not put down after this incident, but it did raise questions about how safe it was for guests to interact with them. Though the practice of walking tigers through the park was reportedly discontinued.
Bro, I'm sorry. We are not out of the food chain. People, I've seen bears maul off faces. I've seen tigers eat limbs off of people. We are not out of the food chain. I know we think we're fucking holier than thou, God, whatever. No, we're not. We're not. I'm sorry, we're not. We are meat and flesh like everything else. We are still part of the food chain. We can subsidize that, but no, fuck off.
At an unspecified time.
Come on,
This
man.
promotional VHS from 1989 clearly shows a child petting a full-grown tiger, so the park likely wanted to maintain the image of its animals as friendly.
The tiger
Moving on, the park decided to
didn't
add new
care.
attractions every year.
Watch
In
the Tiger
1987,
King.
they added a new cat and dog comedy show. Also opening was a new school tank in the aquarium, a new animal training demonstration area, and a new petting zoo for toddlers. Also in 1987 was yet another memorable celebrity appearance.
I'm sorry.
This time, Star Trek's own William Shatner showed up for a special charity event to raise money for the California Rare and Endangered Species Preservation Fund. Shatner actually rode on an orca's back. He also allowed the orca to jump over his head. 1988 was the park's 20th.
And then people fucking flip their shit when they react.
Animalversary. For this event, two new attractions debuted. These were a lorikeet aviary and a butterfly habitat named Butterfly World. At $750,000, Butterfly World was the Vallejo location's biggest attraction since its opening. Not to be outdone by the previous year, 1989 brought a massive new attraction to Whale of a Time World, an all-new playground inside a life-size replica of a blue whale. This giant playground predominantly featured a massive ball pit with a few.
Imagine you dying and somebody making a replica of your fucking dead corpse. Am I wrong? Like, tell me I'm wrong.
few anatomical features as well. There was a foam tongue to jump on, inflatable lungs to climb, and a life-size replica of a blue whale's heart, or at least I hope that's a heart. At the dawn of the 1990s, Marine World entered the decade with an all-new elephant encounter. Here, people were able to meet and feed baby and adult elephants, as well as have a chat with their trainers. But this wasn't all for the exhibit. Guests were also able to pet the elephants, as well as watch them being washed and stacking logs. There was even a segment where guests could challenge an elephant to a tug of war. Mike Demetrios explained that all of this was meant to connect guests with the elephants and motivate them to contribute to wildlife preservation. Interestingly enough, 1991 brought a new non-zoological exhibit with the Incredible Acrobats of China. Held in the new $2.5 million Kodiak Showcase Theater, this new show featured a Shanghai-based acrobatic performance group.
I will be back. I'm very hungry, right? So I'm gonna cut it. I don't like this. I don't like people monetarily twisting it. Okay, so I'm gonna go make me some mac and cheese. Yeah. Oh my god, he's a child. Fair enough. I'm going to do it. I'll be back. Storms haven't hit yet. They're supposed to hit in about maybe an hour. 4:39. Yeah, I'd rather play Pal World than see this shit. Anyway, I'll be right back. If you're here, fantastic. If you're not, also super dope. I hear thunder. Oh, I am so ready. You want to see where the streams are? Actually, I could just put this on pause. It'd be on pause for like 13 minutes, but I don't think anyone's even in here. Oh, look at that. Oh. Severe thunderstorm. Oh yeah. We are getting there. Super dope. 5 to 6. So we got about another hour-ish. Should I keep it on? Should I keep it off? I'll turn it off. I'll come back on basically maybe in an hour when the thunderstorms are getting really like, oh my god, is them they're going to die? Hopefully, but maybe not. All right. Love you. I'll be back after I make my mac and cheese, man. 20 minutes, something like that. Fair enough.